getting curious and just checking in with yourself and questioning how you're actually feeling, you know, what's going on with you.
Trying to understand yourself and getting curious about the thoughts that pass through your mind.
That's what we're going to be talking about
in
this week's episode of Get Real with the English Sisters.
Yeah, we did that. We said that all together, didn't we?
We did. It's just so important, I think, just to check in with yourself, because I think with our busy lives today, we're always like on the go, and sometimes like real negative thoughts can come and go, and we're not really sort of catching them. We're not really aware that they're there, but they're just getting us down in general.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's those kind of thoughts that, you know, sometimes they can be quite doomy, gloomy, can't they?
They
can be
can.
quite, and they persistently repeat themselves. And they, in the end, these thoughts that are going on, let's say, like they're playing in the back of your mind. You're not fully aware of them. So it's like a playlist, but it's going on there and it's in that part of your mind. And, you know, I think we have to sort of allow a little bit of space so that we can see what's playing in the backlist, you know, in that playlist, as to say.
Yeah, because when we're always doing things, sometimes we just don't realize that it's there. It's just like, it's just there. It's just getting us down. It's like bothering us. But really, what are these negative thoughts? If you stop a moment and you just actually catch one and you say, oh, you know, the thought might be there. It will be there trying to give you a message. It's trying to tell you something. It's trying to warn you or tell you to do something about something.
Try and do something different with your life, maybe. You know, there are many thoughts that, you know, that you might think unconsciously, like thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I really should do something about this issue, whatever it is, health issue. Otherwise, you know, this is going to be the death of me. People think things like this in their minds all the time. And I've even caught myself thinking things like that sometimes, you know, thinking, gosh, if I don't do this, you know, it's going to, but and that's not just, that's a real thought. And that's something that sort of like subconsciously is giving you a message, isn't it?
Well, it's giving you a message, all right. It's telling you to get up and do something.
Yeah,
but the problem is that most of us, we just kind of get comfortable with these negative thoughts in a sad way. And we get used to hearing them. And then they just become
they're
kind
just
of
playing
part of
there
us.
and they're just part of us.
And we don't actually, you know, we don't have the energy or the will to actually go and do something about it.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot of effort to do so, and it's
almost easier to keep yourself busy all the time,
and keep yourself
with anything, even just looking at your phone. You're constantly looking at things, you know, scrolling by, or you're actually physically busy at work doing work. But that's, you know, that's like the way out for not to listen to what's really going on. But if you are having thoughts that keep on repeating themselves, like anxious thoughts that are in the end getting you down, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, it could be as simple as thinking, oh, I really have to extend my friend group because I haven't got any friends at the minute. I've lost touch with all the friends I used to have, and I haven't got anyone now. So when I do feel like going out, I don't want to go out by myself and there's no one there. And that kind of thought was starting to make you feel anxious. I haven't got any friends. Oh no, what am I useless? Why haven't I got any friends? You know, you start saying all these things to yourself. What's wrong with me? Why doesn't anyone want to hang around with me?
You're feeling I am lonely. And if you address that feeling and you get curious about it and you allow that feeling of I am lonely to just to be there, and you accept it, then you can finally say, okay, oh wow, yeah, I am lonely.
So you can start with maybe writing it down. I haven't got any friends. So the negative thought that's in your mind will come out and it'll be on paper in front of you.
I mean, that's not even really negative. That's just factual. Sometimes friends
Well, it's negative if it's getting you down.
Yes. In that way it is.
It's a friend. It's a thought that's making you feel negative about yourself or about your life.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I meant.
Yes.
So if you write that down and then that's what's actually bothering you, this is what, then you might be thinking, it's like my fault. Why haven't I got any friends? So you write down, is it my fault? Then you can say, is it true that it's my fault? Then you can maybe say no, because my friends moved away or they moved on, they had kids, etc. But once you get it written down, then like what Yutka says, you get down to the real like underlying cause, the real issue, which is I feel lonely at the minute.
Yeah, I am lonely. I feel lonely. Or like if you find yourself in relationships that aren't quite right for you, they're not really working out, you can get curious about that as well and say, why? Why is this? What am I doing that's an active part of this? What am I not doing? Who am I not listening to? And in the end, it's always yourself. You're not listening to yourself and to your needs and to your desires and to what you need in this moment of your life.
Yeah, so I think that's true, that a lot of the time you just ignore what you're thinking.
You don't want to listen to yourself. I mean, that's why, it's constant social media, music, anything that won't allow, there's actually been a study made. Do you remember that study? It said people would rather be given a small electric shock than spend like, it was something like 5 minutes alone or something. Do you remember that study?
I remember the study. I can't remember how much time it was exactly.
Because I haven't got internet here.
It was actually, maybe it was an hour on your own.
No, I'm sure it was way less than an hour. Way less than an hour. They were willing to get an electric shock. Yeah. Because that's what sometimes it can be difficult to be alone with yourself. So we're not saying be completely alone and isolate. Just take a moment, like when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, maybe, take one moment, go inside for a minute. How are you feeling? Try and do a little digging, a little bit, not, or in the evening.
Yeah, and also sometimes it can be something like you feel as if you're not fit enough, that you want to be more fit, so you're having all these self-deprecating thoughts about how unfit you are, or how maybe you feel as if you're overweight. Or you should do something, or the doctor's told you have to do something about your weight. And they're just there at the back, and it's just there. Whereas if you write it down and then you say, okay, and then you say actions that I'm going to take. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to go for a 5-minute walk, and then the next day I'll go for a 10-minute walk. And these are just tiny little daily habits like what we've talked about in other previous episodes that can really change your life in the end. And they can. What happens is that they deactivate these negative thoughts, because then you think, I'm actually doing something about it. I'm helping myself. I'm not just ignoring this thing, these messages that are coming into my mind, because they're there for a reason, aren't they?
They are there for a reason. Really, it's
they're to protect you.
They're there to tell you, hey, listen to me. But it's hard for you to listen to yourself when there's so much noise going on around you, and you become addicted to that noise, and thus you do not want to be alone. But, and we're all, I do this as well.
We all do it.
I mean,
sure.
When I'm alone, I put a podcast on, I'm listening to something, I'm moving around. So now I'm sort of consciously trying to spend some time in just quiet.
Yeah, I don't do that. I just go around quietly.
Quietly, yeah. Before, like, if I did anything I had to do, like in the house, I'd always have a podcast running in the background, something I'm interested in, especially when I do have that. I don't have much time alone, so I want to listen to them and get them in. But not because we're hosting podcasts, so it's all you have to turn us off right now.
That's good advice, Yutka.
No,
listen to all podcasts; they're very good for you.
Some podcasts.
No, I'm joking. But I think that
It's
you
like-
you just need to do a 5-minute check on yourself every day. So while you're brushing your teeth, like what Yuka says, make it easy while you're doing your hair, your makeup or whatever, and just check in. How am I feeling? What are my feet doing? How are my legs doing? How's my heart doing? How are my arms doing?
Oh,
How's
you mean
my
like a physical check as well? Yeah.
How's my mental health today? Do I feel any pain? Oh, am I feeling, how am I actually feeling today? Because we don't take the time to feel, and then we have these thoughts. I think already your mind will thank you and say, "Oh, thank you so much. You're actually checking in with me today, instead of ignoring me like you normally do."
Yeah, totally. We ignore ourselves so much. We're so programmed to just, get distracted, distract ourselves.
Get on with everything.
Everything is programmed, even what we eat, when we eat it, the times, everything.
Exactly.
Everything. We're like super programmed. So if we allow ourselves to just, listen, simply listen. What's wrong? What's wrong? Yeah, what's wrong? Something will come up. If you can get a second to close your eyes, even more helpful, because when you close your eyes, you're blocking out the outside stimuli. And so you're naturally going to go towards your internal self. And you may be quite surprised at what comes out.
I know. You will be. You will surprise yourself.
And, just allow yourself to be curious. Don't freak out. Whatever happens, it doesn't have to be drastic.
Don't beat yourself up about it either, because these thoughts have been in your head for years probably, or a long time, and you've just been ignoring them. So now that you're actually addressing them, give yourself a clap on the back.
Yes, because it's a big deal.
Big kudos for actually bothering to address these thoughts. And then don't just think, oh, but my life's a mess or whatever. Now that I've addressed them, don't think.
Now I've realised, I've done everything wrong. I'm in the wrong job. I don't like the person I'm with.
Yeah, because sometimes
I'm a terrible parent, a terrible mother, terrible. Look, these thoughts are there. They're there to tell you something. Just they're a warning.
So, say that if the thought comes up, like what you've just said, I'm a terrible parent. You can write that down. I'm a terrible parent, and then ask yourself why you're a terrible parent. Maybe because you feel as if you're not spending enough time with your children.
You're feeling guilty.
You're feeling guilty. Well, then address that. Why am I feeling guilty? Is it true? Is it not true?
Yeah.
Turn it around. Maybe it's not true. It's probably not true. And most people now feel guilt in some way.
And if you feel you've made a mistake with your, with your kids, you can apologize. Children are going to learn so much from you if you apologize and say, look, I think I made a mistake. I made a mistake yesterday. I lost my temper. I'm really sorry about this. They're going to grow so much from that experience that it's going to be wonderful for them in their lives. And you're actually teaching them how best, the great way to communicate, because it's obvious you're going to make a mistake even if you are a parent. It doesn't make us all invincible. We're going to make so many mistakes as parents. But if you can say it with still being, a calming presence for your child, because you don't always want to say, I'm making mistakes every day. That'll be
because it can be destabilizing. Your child might think that you haven't got a clue what's going on.
Yeah,
but you can say, I think that every child will respect if you say, "Mummy or Daddy made a mistake. We made a mistake yesterday, and we're sorry."
Yes.
They'll appreciate that, and then you can also use it as a lesson when you make a mistake as well. If you say sorry, it's a really good thing. It's a good thing to apologize, because I'm just saying we're all human. I mean, children know that their parents are human in the end. I think there's nothing better really.
No, absolutely. Sorry, yeah, absolutely. No, there is nothing better than opening up and showing the human side.
It just builds a very strong
trust,
and a very strong connection, and a connection where your children will want to come to you as well. If they feel that they've made a mistake, they'll be able to acknowledge it and own up to it, instead of always
hiding and trying to and being ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so true.
I think that's what modern parenting is all about, really, because before it was always like the parent was always kind of right, whatever said ruled.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas now it's like more...
Well, that used to belief that there was a belief that you had to do this so that your child would know who to respect and who to trust in a way. Because if you're always making mistakes, like I said before, you know, it can be. But obviously, it's not always. You're not always making. You have a general guideline.
And if you've
got some
always
rules.
making mistakes, you have to question that and say, why am I always making mistakes?
Yeah.
How can I do better? Because nobody, I mean, ideally, we all want to learn from our mistakes and not repeat them.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, and sometimes if we can't, if we feel as if we can't because, you know, we have problems, we could have like an addiction problem or some problem. You know, we have to take responsibility for that and address it and get the necessary help we need. You know, reach out if that's what's happening to you.
If that's what you're fearful of, because you've got have an addiction that you don't really want to admit that you have an addiction. You know, that's something else that you can listen to yourself, get curious about it, wonder, am I addicted to this or that substance? Is this really true? Allow that thought to enter your mind and allow yourself to take the necessary actions
To address.
But
I think already you've made a massive leap
just
for yourself, just by checking in with yourself, and it's like as if you're giving yourself 1,000 hugs.
Oh, it's
just
amazing.
Checking in every day with yourself, because I mean, even if it isn't every day, if it's once a week, that's better than nothing.
It'll become more of a little habit. You know, you'll find a space in your home where this can happen. I remember you used to tell me
in the
bathroom, in the shower, or whenever you would actually enter the bathroom, you would.
It's like the space.
It's like they're like spatial anchors. If we want to call them that. It's where you enter one space and you just think about these things.
Something leaves usually, doesn't it?
Yeah. So you could like think about it while you're in the shower, and I think that's a good place really to have this.
Yeah, and the bathroom is a good place.
Yeah, because it's like a private, hopefully it's a private, quiet space. And I was thinking when you've got kids, they're in and out, but if you can manage to have that moment to yourself.
Just allow things, to leave you as well. If there's something that you're carrying that you don't like, guilt that you're carrying and you don't need it, just allow it to leave you, because you can say thank you for that. It served its purpose or whatever. And I'm not.
But I'm
not repeating that again. But it's okay to say goodbye now, because some of these thoughts they're just from the past and they're not even really that relevant in the future.
They're outdated, aren't they?
Outdated,
Let's put it frankly. They are outdated thoughts that are just weighing us down.
Yeah.
They are no longer relevant. They have no use in our mind except to occupy valuable space.
Yeah.
Because the thing about our minds is that they do, they don't seem to have, they're supposed to be infinite if you allow them to open. Otherwise, they just generally get filled in.
Get cluttered.
They get cluttered with some of the outdated thoughts, some of the, just repetitive thoughts that you've said, okay, I've got that. Why do you have to keep on repeating it to me? And that can be due to anxiety.
Yes.
Can't it?
Yeah. Right.
Often it's anxiety that will tend to repeat it until you finally acknowledge it.
Worry and anxiety.
So there you have to take action.
You do.
If you can. If you can take action, you take action.
You must take action.
You must take action for that.
You mustn't let these runaway thoughts just, get the better of you. So...
Because your mind is a precious place.
You can start a meditation practice, or, listen to some hypnotherapy, or go to a therapist, or listen to some calming podcast, calming music, something that will help you with your anxiety.
Yeah, a lot of the times exercise as well helps. I was going to
say, a good walk a day keeps the anxiety away.
Yeah, it does. It really does. It can, it can help you to de-stress and... It's all of these together, because maybe meditating, like what you just said now, I don't know how...
Not everyone. Now they've got these little apps now that are so easy to follow. even just 60 seconds sometimes.
Even the
60
breathing ones,
minutes,
aren't they? Yeah.
They're very easy to follow. It doesn't have to be a long meditative practice.
No.
So I'm sure you'll find your space, whether it's a walk a day keeps the anxiety away, or a 5-minute meditation, or just some
deep breathing.
Breathing. Just take 3 deep breaths in and out every now and again. You know how these watches tell you to stand up?
Yeah.
These watches we've got.
Yeah.
You know, just instead of standing up, you can stand up as well, it'd probably be good. But whilst you're doing it, take 3 deep breaths, and that will calm your whole nervous system down.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're going to leave you with that. So please remember to vote for us in the Women in Podcasting Awards. I think it's till the 1st of October, so I think this is still going to be okay.
Okay.
And
great.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure, actually. We'll have to check on that. But if you've already voted, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And come and see us on Instagram at Get Real with the
English Sisters.
Bye-bye.
Bye.